So if you use the skills, you lose your mana. Yes. So you need mana for using your skills again. Yeah. So for mana you have to go to base or use mana regen card. Sounds legit. Then why not using them? If this didn't make you laugh, I guess I should work on my jokes. This is Arjun. Yeah, this is how his name is pronounced. I don't know what is wrong with the Western world adding an extra A behind every Indian name. Anyway, keep this aside and let's talk about Arjun, who is the incarnation of Indra himself. Indra is actually king of the gods, not like other pantheon. This guy has a strong character. Arjun's passive is called Indra's Blessing, where each time you attack enemy heroes, you get a blessing from king of the gods, Indra himself, but a maximum of 10 blessing, which will increase your attack speed by 30% of player's level with additional 2%. For example, if you have 10 stacks on level 7, this will be around 41% attack speed. And those blessings are also good in terms of stability. Each time you stop attacking, this will reduce the blessing one by one and with a time duration of 2 seconds, which means the attack speed won't slow down that easily. So this passive already eliminates the attack speed card because you have an inbuilt attack speed that will last longer than your motivation. Arjun's basic attack is called Golden Arrow, where he damages 325 plus 100 attack power and refills the mana 35 plus 5% attack power, which means the higher the damage you can deal, the more mana per hit you get. And if you use more attack power, you don't need any extra mana regen card. Arjun's first skill is called Wrath of Gandiba. In simple words, a skill that make you full of wrath like Asura, Broly, Kratos or any character who get on rage and get more power. Same applies here. Arjun increases his range up to 1.5 meter but loses attack speed and movement speed. Same as you get strong as Broly but very slow. Come on, you get range, what else you want? Arjun's skills also give one more advantage. If you hit enemies with the Wrath of Gandiba, the enemy will still get some damage every 0.5 second based on 20% attack power and additional attack power depending on the player's level. And this additional damage will count as a skill damage, where no matter who you hurt, the card which have passive based on skills will be triggered by it. For example, Occult Science and Soul Burning. So if someone managed to run away while you hitting them with one last shot, they will still lose their HP and die. This is more like insurance of killing enemies or scaring them away to avoid fighting with you. Arjun's second skill is called Heaven Punishment, which is really a punishment. This is the highest damage skill Arjun has. It is just an AoE skill, nothing else. What? I didn't make these heroes draft for the game. But still, this skill is capable to deal damage based on your 60% attack power with extra level damage. And this also reduces the movement speed of enemies and also reduces the armor based on skill level. The ultimate is called Light of Heaven, but in reality, the ultimate is a big black hole. Oh come on, I know what you were thinking and how the internet really spoiled you. But still, the ultimate is working the same as you were thinking. It sucks all the movement speed of enemies whenever they are in the range of that big black hole. And when you hit enemies with that, they also get good damage and stun for 1 second and slow down their speed by 99% for 1.5 seconds. And trust me, this is really useful if you are planning to hit your enemies but want to start something serious with your teammates. Hide in the bush and fire that big black... Okay, leave it. Even that word is coming into my mind. I should start calling it ultimate. So hide into the bushes and fire the ultimate and start attacking them like they are alien because they are in your zone and you are predator. In short, AVP. This ultimate sucks their movement speed and unable to escape on time unless they have blink ability. And if you hit enemies who are just got hit by the ultimate, each time hitting them gives you 2 stacks of blessing. This is why I'm suggesting you, if you plan to ambush, use it. Now you know what other skills are. You have to learn good use of those skills. But first, let's learn about what is a good build for you. So you can be ensured you can be a very powerful hero in the game, like the Arjun when he was in exile and live as a third gender person and single-handedly fight against his two cousins, one sibling who he didn't know he was his sibling, his grandsire, his teacher, and two other great warriors of that time with a big army. Anyway, let's not go into deep about his history and focus on his build. So there are two types of build I guess are suitable for Arjun. The first one is my regular build, and in this build I mostly use this as it is useful against assassin, marksmen and mages. But this build is not suitable against fighters or tanks. And the second one is the all-purpose build. I will go into more details with that, but first pick the regular build. First pick multi-dimension energy, as it will make you stronger as much you consume more minions, creeps and heroes. It will give you stacks for every one of them, and each stack will increase the damage by 2.5 damage per kill permanently. Next pick black powder, because no matter you have an inbuilt attack speed, but in early to mid game attack speed is required, and black powder gives you the highest attack speed in the early game. Because the Wrath of Gandiba will reduce your attack speed, this will help you to constantly attack with this. Next is illusionary, because it provides you crit chance, lifesteal and attack speed, and because this is on a higher level, you get some extra attribute with this card. For the next card, pick the multiple arrow, because it looks cool. Just kidding. It will increase the chances of hitting more enemies per hit, and a faster rate to kill minions, which also affects your multi-dimension energy card. And in a team fight, any duo who tries to attack will get a good amount of damage at the same time, because the attacker, assassin, marksman or mage, and the protector, tank or warrior will get damage at the same time, because of increased range and the ability to target multiple enemies at the same time. Next is death fight, which is not just give you an extra 25% crit chance, but increases the crit damage too. This means if you have reached the basic damage of nearly 1.5k, it will increases up to 3.4k approx. And where enemies have HP around 10k to 15k, one attack with crit chance is nearly reduce their HP. 33% for 10k HP and 22% for 15k HP. Which is still a lot, because of Wrath of Gandiba you are already having a longer range. With Black Powder card, you have attack speed enemies can't stay against you for more than just 3 seconds. If they are stunned, which is a win-win situation in both cases. If enemy die, they will not able to defend their lanes, and if they have to retreat, you can pin them down where the pinned down hero is begging for help and teammates can't help them, as you are good in terms of power. They can't stand against you unless they surprise attack you. Now you are strong enough. Now pick any shoe you prefer. I don't recommend anything here, just pick what you prefer. And for the last two cards, pick them in any order you like, because in the late game you need both, no matter which order. Tearing will deal 3% damage based on max HP, and this is helpful to fight against a tank, and Royal Emblem will increase your attack power up to 15%, and this is good to counter both high HP heroes and low HP heroes. Because the high HP heroes can be immune to high damage, but damage based on max HP makes them lose their HP more rapidly. And low HP heroes are immune to max HP based damage, as they have very low HP, which won't affect them much, but high damage affects them. Now with anti-tank build. I don't need to mention the cards I mentioned before, but the cards I mentioned here are explained detailed. I picked Fury to have some extra crit chance and then Life Glow card, and here comes the anti-tank part. I picked Soul Burning to make sure each time I hurt someone with the Wrath of Gandiba and Soul Burning, this will ensure a 15% HP reduction with one hit. 5% approx by my basic attack and 10% by card passive, and on this point where we are not strong enough and tanks already have high HP, and this is the graph that shows the effectiveness of Soul Burning. And here is the situation where if a tank are below 60% HP, they are not too strong enough to sustain in the fight, and on the graph you can see how much HP it can reduce with one hit. and this could easily drag tank's HP to low as possible. And then I picked multiple arrows to ensure I can target as many enemies as possible. And then pick a card for movement, and then Turing again on 7th card, and in the last I use illusionary as it gives me more HP regen attribute and high crit chance attribute. And now we are done with the building. It is time to learn what is good to fight against enemies. And with regular build. First, pick any line you prefer but not mid lane, because anyone could hit you from either side. So pick either top or bottom lane and then start using your multi-dimension card to increase your attack power. And you should use your first skill, so if a minion is on low HP, you can kill them by last hit, or first skill's damage will also gonna make sure the minion die before other minion kills that minion. And also you get some extra range to save you from enemies and stay there for almost a few minutes until you reach to level 4. Because at that time you get your ultimate unlocked, and also you have some extra power with the multi-dimension card. And wait for your enemies to come to you. Use your first skill to make sure they are low HP by your basic attack. And if they are more than one, use your tower for defense and focus on minions. Once you reach to level 7, you got multiple arrows, which help you to kill the entire minion wave easily and increase the power of your attacks. And now once you are self-dependent in match, still beware about the enemies. More than 2 enemies will make you lose your life, because the arrows only target 3 enemies at once, and if enemies are leading their minion waves, you can still target their minion waves while fighting enemies. So keep pushing the minion waves and increase your power up to 75 stacks of a multi-dimension energy, which roughly gives you attack around 3.9k to 4.5k damage on crit chance. And once you reach the level 9, the crit chance and the crit damage will increase, and this is where you start behaving like a real threat to enemies. Look for enemies who are planning to push your towers, hand them with your ultimate when they are fighting your teammates. Mostly target mages and marksmen with surprise, and with your long range, you can easily make sure they won't come to you in the range which can hurt you. And also make sure you hit as many enemies as possible with your very high damage, so they get confused which is the way to retreat, as you deal so much damage on them which cannot be recovered if they didn't run away. Always use this method to keep increasing your power to make sure you push enemies by eliminating high damage heroes and bring the fight to the enemy base, where you can easily pin them down. And in this condition, if your team is going to form, I better suggest you don't be a hero and try to fight enemies alone. One stun and you are dead. And now with anti-tank build. Everything is similar from level 1 to 7, but once you reach the level 7, try to make sure you not just only target the minions, but high damage heroes too. And also you make sure you scare away the tanks too. And make sure you don't die until you reach the level 11. And from that time, you can play same late game as regular build too. And you are a marksman, but still you are an assassin. Because if you fight directly with enemies like Hestia, Dini, Odin, or anyone who can have backup without much effort, you can't fight them without surprising them from behind. So that's all you have to do. But there are still some other things to mention about how to counter Arjun. So don't worry, we are here to explain the ways too. First, Arjun is a hero with very good skills to fight against enemies who are not paying attention to him. But if someone is paying attention to Arjun and Arjun is not paying attention, this is very bad situation. And as Arjun doesn't have any movement / dash skill, it is good for hunters to hunt him down. Any assassin or mage that has the ability to stun, slow down or deal damage based on AoE can easily make sure Arjun lose his focus, and then a situation of conflict will start. And also if teammates are not there to help him, he's totally done. So if you're after Arjun, use Hestia, Dini, Takeko, Odin or Hercules, as they have good damage, stun abilities and enough HP to knock him first, and then make sure he can't escape in the first place. Also Arjun is good at recovering his mana with his basic attack, so make sure your minions are good as shield, so whenever they use their long range, you are secured by your minions. because if you don't let him hit you with their Wraith of Gandiba, their mana will be wasted, and if there is no way to recover mana, he has to get to your close range where you can hit him too. In simple words, we are now even, and get him as soon as possible. One more weakness Arjun have, his ultimate. He uses it whenever it is necessary, and if you manage to waste it, you get some good advantage point for the next 45 seconds. And trust me, this works very well. Imagine you don't have to worry about getting stunned for the next 45 seconds where he can't fight you like the way other heroes can, because this is the only skill that can disable you and slow you down. Well, and this is the entire tutorial of Arjun, the incarnation of Indra, and still there are questions you want me to answer? Check my Discord, please.